stars have aligned, but your fate is still up to me.
One of the most underrated supports is the information support, the character that can help you make the right decisions. Whether to go down hallway A or hallway B, most people just gonna choose one, go figure it out, even if it might be trapped, or the other one that might have all the treasure in it. By having the information, you can make the best decisions. It's incredibly underrated, and this character is all about doing that. This is the All Seer. The All Seer can be built using only the 2024 Player's Handbook. That is the only book you're going to need for this build. As far as species goes, we're going to be going High Elf. It's probably not the most optimal species, but it just fits the vibe for me. I feel like this is a haughty wizard who knows everything. High Elf just fits that for me. With High Elf, we're going to get a little bit of extra mobility and a little bit of extra utility, but overall it's going to be nothing crazy. You could do this with any species. As for our background, we're going to be going Scribe. This is a great time to take Scribe. We're going to be bumping Intelligence and Dexterity, and with Scribe we're going to get the Skilled feat. Let's talk about our skills for a second. This is actually a skill monkey build, and wizards make fantastic skill monkeys now, just in a completely new and different way, and we're going to explore that here. By being a Scribe, we're going to get Investigation and Perception. Now with the Skilled feat, we're going to be taking Nature, History, and Insight. All excellent skills, we'll talk more about those later. For this whole build, we're going to be going into the Divination Wizard starting at level 1. Here we pick up the Arcana and Religion skills, both essential for this build. Here we also get Arcane Recovery, just a little bit more spellcasting with our Spellcaster. As far as signature spells go, we're going to be taking everything Divination, we're going to be taking most Rituals, Find Familiar included. As for spells, we really want some good spammables with this build. The first one I'm going to be looking at is Ray of Sickness. I really like the new Ray of Sickness. It's a great potential debuff to one attack-based enemy, and it lasts for a whole turn, so all of their attacks are going to have disadvantage if this works out for you. It's really not that hard to work either. All you have to do is hit, and they can't be immune to the poisoned condition. Does a bit of extra damage on top of it. Very, very spammable. Shield is our defensive spammable. We're going to be taking Mage Armor for the spell efficiency, and we want to cast a first level spell early in our day. Mage Armor is perfect for that, and we'll talk more about why later. But as for the spammables, Shield and Ray of Sickness are the ones I'm going to be eyeing the most. We are definitely a utility caster, so rituals are going to be very, very important for us to put together. This begins at level 1, but we really focus on this as we progress our whole career. Level 2, we get Scholar. Here we get to pick up an expertise. I'm going to be putting it into Arcana. Not only is it going to be really great at just being a wizard, any Arcana check is normally what a wizard is going to be doing when it's dealing with magic stuff, but also it's going to allow us to do the other thing we're going to do, which I'll touch again later. Level 3, we become a Divination Wizard, and we get Divination Savant. This is going to give us some free divination spells, which we're super happy to take. We're going to be picking up basically every divination spell we can along the way. There's a couple stinkers, but not many. Most are going to be that utility caster that we really, really want. There's only one divination spell that does damage, so this really makes us a big utility caster, while giving us the flexibility to be whatever other kind of caster we want to be. That's something to mention about this build, is it's a chassis that can be done in a lot of different ways. You could focus on blasting, you could focus on debuffing, or buffing, or illusions. All of those are an option, with still being the utility caster that we are. Everybody knows that Portent is an incredibly powerful ability, and it's no different here. We love Portent. It doesn't matter what you roll on it, it's probably going to do something really great for you throughout that day. It's just really, really consistently good. As for our spells, Mind Spike is going to be one of our signature spells. I talked about Divination having a damaging spell. Here it is. It's not the most important thing right now. It's not the best second level spell by any means, but especially once we hit 6th level, we're going to be using it a lot. In the meantime, however, our utility spells are See Invisibility, Detect Thoughts, and Locate Object. All of those have their place, and they're really, really excellent to use. And again, once we get later on, it's going to be less of a cost to use these, but for now, we can just use them as we need them, and then fill the rest in with just good second level spells. Something like Suggestion or Hold Person come to mind. Level 4, this is a big level for us. We're going to pick up the Keen Mind feat. This is built for the Keen Mind feat. So the Keen Mind feat is going to give us expertise in one of our skills that we already have. I would recommend taking it in either History, Nature, or Religion, because that's going to match up with what the other part of our Keen Mind feat does, which is analyze our enemies as a bonus action. There's a new action called Study. Study, we now get to do as a bonus action. We get to analyze our enemy. If there are a certain group of enemies, you roll a Nature check. If it's a different group, you do History, different group Arcana, different group Religion. We have at least proficiency in every single one of those, and then we have expertise in a couple of them. So choose your expertises based off who you want to analyze incredibly well. I went with Arcana because it fits the flavor, and I went with History because again it fits the flavor, flavor, but also I just felt that humanoids you run into all the time, and we're going to be able to analyze them for whatever your DM wants to share with you, whether it be strengths or weaknesses or personality traits or quirks or strategies. We get to analyze it, and then we have the flavor to say that we're divining it. We gather information with the bonus action, then share it with our teammates, so now they get to know things that are going to help them in the fight. Maybe it's about them being immune to fire. Maybe it's about them being weak to lightning. I just think it's really a cool build. It's a cool new kind of way to play a skill monkey that we get to enjoy here, and this build revolves around doing that very well. At level 5, we get Memorize Spell. This is basically just an ability that allows us to adapt to our situation. If we took the wrong spells, prepared the wrong spells for the day, well, we can flip one out for the right spell. It allows us to take a bit more circumstantial spells along with our more overall broad spells and to pull them out of our pocket whenever we need them. Overall, level 5 is more about our 3rd level spells. With our utility spells, we're going to get Clairvoyance, Tongues, and Sending. All good utility spells that we're going to sometimes use. We want to mix these in with our bigger spells, things like Fireball or things like Hypnotic Pattern. We still want to have our fight-winning spells a core strategy, but this is our utility that's around that core strategy. Level 6, big level for us. We get Expert Divination. This is a cool ability. Whenever we cast a divination spell of level 2 or higher, we get to restore a spell slot that is lower than it, that is no higher than level 5. So now we get to start the day off by casting Mage Armor. Then, as soon as we get into combat, we can cast Mind Sliver. Mind Sliver is going to restore that first level spell slot, which we then can use to cast Ray of Sickness, which then allows us to do Mind Sliver again, which then gives us another first level spell slot. So now instead of getting 4 casts of Ray of Sickness, now we can do 7 casts of Ray of Sickness, and this also compounds on the days that we end up using any of our utilities. So let's say we get out of combat and we want to cast Sending to somebody. Well, now when we do that, it's going to restore the 2nd level spell slot that can then restore the 1st level spell slot, and you can see how we can cascade our spells together. This would be ridiculously powerful if we had better damaging divination spells, more combat-oriented divination spells, but we don't. So mostly what it's going to mean is it's going to replace a lot of our cantrips we just replace with 2nd and 1st level spells. We get to do that more if we're casting utility, and we get punished less for using utility, so it rewards us for being a utility caster. And then after that, we want to just mix in standard, good, whatever else we want to do as a wizard. Note about Mind Sliver, it's a concentration spell. We largely don't care about it being a concentration spell. We wish it wasn't a concentration spell. Every now and again, its ability to let us track someone, know exactly where they are, could come in clutch, but I wouldn't expect it to come in clutch too often. So maybe ask your DM, if you don't concentrate on it, you just do the initial damage and then let it fall off, if that counts as a concentration spell. If it does, you're not going to use this strategy as often because you're probably going to be focusing on a fight-winning spell, unfortunately. Level 7, the utility we get is Arcane Eye, an absolutely incredible divination spell that's going to allow us to do amazing scouting for our teammates. And again, I want to emphasize how important it is that you have a decision-making support. Think about a complicated dungeon where you have hallway A and hallway B. Hallway A is trapped to the brim and hallway B has gold in it, and it's the right path. You can go explore the next room, see what traps are laid for you, see what state the enemies are in. Are they ready to ambush you, or are they asleep? Well, now you know you can make decisions based off that information. It's an underrated aspect of D&D. Make good decisions. And we specialize in that, baby. Continuing the other spells that help us along this path, we have Divination and we have Locate Creature. Divination's incredible, you just get some questions answered, very similar to Augury. But then we have something like Locate Creature, which hit or miss. I've heard people say that this isn't good, but every campaign I've ever played in that this got used, it was hella clutch. I love Locate Object / Creature. Level 8, we're going to bump Intelligence. It just does everything good for us, so we're going to take it here. Level 9, we get another collection of spells. Scrying is the winner here for me. Again, a lot of wizards could take Scrying, but it's really punishing that you're using a 5th level spell slot to cast it, and now that really hurts. Well, with us, we can cast it and then get a 4th level spell slot back. So we could do something like Sending, and then Divination, and then Scrying, and you have this whole setup where really all you ever casted was a 6th level spell, and with that cascade, you use basically a 5th level spell to cast a 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st level spell, which is a lot of value. Level 10, we get the 3rd Eye. This is kind of neat. As a bonus action, we get a new ability, and it lasts until our next rest, whether it's short or long. The abilities are going to be Dark Vision, which we already have, so probably pass on that one more often than not. We get Greater Comprehension. We have Comprehend Languages as a ritual, so probably pass on this more often than not. And we have See Invisibility. This is the one we're probably going to use most often. We do have the See Invisibility spell, but we could just not take it and then use this to See Invisibility and be just fine. Level 11, the only divination spell we're picking up is True Seeing, a great divination spell, and again, kind of creates that cascade effect. Moving on from here, here, we don't have a ton more divination spells to pick up for the rest of our career. For level 9, we get Foresight. This is really great because with Foresight, it's just incredible. Everyone knows Foresight is great, but it also cascades for us. A lot of times people just like to cast Foresight at the beginning of a day. This will kind of delay that a little bit. You would do utility first, whatever utility your team needs, then Foresight to kind of get a cascade going. Main thing I want to stress with this build is you could tweak this a lot. You could tweak the lineage, you could tweak especially what spells you take, whole bunch of things, and you're going to still have the same chassis that you have. I think it's a pretty cool chassis. I think it's a pretty unique playstyle. It's not something you could have done in the other one. It's cool that we're a skill monkey wizard still doing wizard things, and I feel like you could just really feel like you're invaluable to your team by doing something totally different. I don't know, I would love to play this build, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But with that, my friends, hope you have yourselves an incredible day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.